guys, so today, as I will be addressing what my first advocate has said and refuting what the negative has to say against my advocate. So just to recap, our significance claims were tenure causes professors to slack and their care for students' education is diminished. Secondly, tenure is granted too soon to allow teachers to prove their worth. And thirdly, tenure requirements are not rigorous. All right. Negative responses to tenure causes professors to lack and their care is diminished is some teachers are just bad and we know it. This advocate, the negative claims that the teacher quality increases with tenure, showing that good teachers were retained and bad teachers were kept out. I do believe this is proven to be false because Chris Palmer states that even professors who are proven to be competent stay at their job even after they have become inadequate and their incompetency has set in. So it shows that even professors who are inadequate, since they have as what Eric says, a guaranteed job for life, they take full advantage of it. Second, his response was unions are heavily involved in teacher employment and retainment and having a large impact on length and cost of teacher firings. As my advocate pointed out, that with tenure, you have a first in, last in, first out policy. As when layoffs become necessary, most states look to tenure as a reason to keep teachers in place or not. Dr. Alan Kadish of HuffPost.com states that only 11 states hold a teacher's evaluation when layoff firings are necessary, which, as he says, is affecting the public schools because even the professors that are proven to be inadequate are being kept in place only since they have tenure. And the ones who are proven to be more quality are the ones being let go. So that's affecting us in receiving the most quality amount of education that we could. The third thing was he shows that heavily unionized school districts have a high number of quality teachers as well as lower numbers of low quality teachers due to tenure. I counted this was a 2016 study at Northwestern University shows that non-tenured professors were performing better than professors who do currently have tenure. With this study, two factors were taken in: inspiration and preparation. This study shows that tenured professors underperformed in both compared to the ones who didn't. With a claim that tenure is granted too soon to allow teachers to prove their worth, the advocate states that what was stated was not accurate. Most teachers that are fired are done. He states that most teachers are fired are done so in the first year of teaching at school, even in states where the tenure process takes more than 3 years to complete. This is first because Neil Cormiller of WorkCon.com states that most teachers are fired or done so in economic teaching jobs become semi-permanent after 2 years. So even after your 3 years of teaching, it even becomes difficult then because at this point your job has become semi-permanent. He also states that tenure does not seem to have an impact on teacher quality. Chris Palmer also states that the advocate misplaces blame on a system rather than a few bad eggs who abuses it. Lindsay Burke says tenure is given largely on work professors publish, so tenure is a system based on research and not teaching. So in essence, the tenure system values research over teaching. On abolishing the tenure system, first we said it would shift research towards emerging and vital fields. James C. Weatherby of HRB.org states, a 2012 National Science Foundation report notes that U.S. colleagues are losing ground in 2 key measurements of research quality: the percentage of world science and engineering articles published and the article citations. U.S. professors published 26% of the world's total science and engineering articles in 2009, which was actually a decline from 31% only 10 years earlier and 37% in 1989. China's share is at 9% and is continually to rise quickly. Without tenures, it will push, as Eric stated, without tenure, it will push professors to publish more research and will broaden their horizons and will bring a more productive teaching technique to the students. Meaning, if we abolish tenures, teachers will have no choice but to go outside their horizons and will be able to and have to research what they don't already know, which proves to be a benefit to the students because they're getting what they're paying for. Multiple schools are already implementing no tenure successfully. Jack Stippling of the 2012 article, The Chronicle, states that 69% of college presidents prefer their faculty to work under long-term or annual contracts. This gives facilities flexibility to phase programs in and out as it needs for the industry. So, since they do not have tenure, they're able to work out the kinks of what is working and what is not. With another argument that seems to be in effect is that universities have tend to switch to adjunct professors, meaning professors that are only kept on for after a certain amount of time and have the choice to either renew their contract or not. Jordan Wiseman of the 2013 article, The Atlantic, says, taking an intro class with adjuncts has increased a student's mark in their classes between 0.6 and 0.12 grade points, meaning that a student who usually takes a professor with tenure and he gets a C+, taking it with a professor who does not have tenure has a chance of increasing it to either a B or even a B+, or in fact even an A. Also with this evidence, it shows that adjuncts have vested their colleagues in every subject from English to engineering. And this is proven because since adjuncts do not have tenure, they have they go outside, they spend more time on research, which are able to give them the advantage of knowing more information than the professors who do have tenure.